The Donald J. Peterson Show. Hello, this is Donald J. Peterson running for Governor of Florida 2022. Thank you for tuning in to the program today. We have a lot to talk about. The most important thing is I'm running to legalize recreational marijuana for Florida. I think that Florida should be a legal state. I think there's 22 million people who really need access to safe recreational cannabis. Alcohol and tobacco are recreationally legal, but not cannabis. Why? Why would they allow alcohol and tobacco and vapes and abortion and gay marriage and everything else except for no recreational marijuana? Because why? Why is Ron worth $105 million? Why? Because he wants to allow the sheriff to take your cannabis away. That's what he wants to do. He wants to torture you. He wants to force you to suffer at the hands of the sheriff's office. And why would he do that? Doesn't he want to love the people of Florida that he swore an oath to protect and defend as a veteran, and then as governor, to be sworn in as governor to say, okay, I'm going to help the people of Florida the best I can and make sure that he wants them to be free, but they're not free. Now, let me tell you something amazing. Why isn't Ron, if he was so concerned about the affairs of Florida, why isn't he finding another way to find baby formula for the stores in Florida for everybody who needs baby formula? You know, if he had legalized recreational marijuana, which I'm going to do, I was looking up the formula thing. Do you know you could actually make formula out of hemp seed, and you could actually make formula out of cannabis leaf? And I'm not saying the babies are going to get high or anything like that. There's no THC in the leaves and there's no THC in the seed. But what there is nutritious milk. You can make hemp milk for the babies, and it's a plant-based milk. Why can't we have that? I would, as governor, I would be making sure that no shelves would be empty. No shelves would be empty if I was governor, and I'll tell you why. Because I would take upon myself the importance of this, and every governor of every state needs to do this or you're a total failure. Your governor is a failure if he doesn't make sure that your state provides food, provides what you need statewide. Don't rely on the government. Every state needs to have their own food supply and production. Every state does that. Every state needs that. Why don't we have that? Well, in Florida, 22 million people, the shelves are bare of formula, and Ron does not want to do anything. See, Ron is a corporate man, okay? Yale and Harvard. Okay, he went to Harvard Law School. He's a lawyer, all right? He doesn't care about you. No attorneys care about anybody. They care about money. They care about this. They want money. Give me money. That's what he wants. And that's why he's worth $105 million. He took $105 million worth of lobby money. Now, look up lobby money and bribes. It's the same thing. I call it bribe lobby money. Ron DeSantis is filthy dirty with lobby money, $105 million, and he doesn't care about the veterans with cancer. Let me tell you why I'm running. I opened Right to Try 2 years ago. And what I wanted to do was, in my 50s, I wanted to help veterans with cancer. And what I wanted to do was actually bring them cannabis. Free. Absolutely free. I wanted to deliver them cannabis. And you know what? The Office of OMMU, which is the Office of Medical Marijuana Use, said, no, we're not issuing any permits. This was under Nikki Fried, okay? And this woman, Nikki Crum, told me, speaking for Nikki Fried's office, I said, are you speaking for Nikki Fried? Yeah. The state of Florida is not issuing any other grow permits, so the people with cancer, let them die. Are you speaking for the state of Florida? Nikki Crum said, yes, I am. And then I said, what about the veterans? Come on, the veterans, they definitely need to have cannabis, right? You're not going to let the veterans suffer, right? And she said, let the veterans suffer and die too. We're not going to issue any permits. I said, are you speaking for Nikki Fried? She says, yes. And look it up. There's a Nikki Crum. And that's what she told me. See, I tried to get a manufacturing permit for Florida, and I guess you need $150 million to do it. The permit price is $60,830. And I figured, since I was a not-for-profit, I figured, let me have a permit. Please, let me have a permit. I'm going to do righteous things with it. I'm going to help veterans with cancer, firemen, anybody. Firefighters with cancer. There's at least 100 firefighters around Florida who want cannabis so bad, and they're riddled with cancer. And you know what Ron DeSantis says? Let them suffer and die. He doesn't care about them. Now, he's not legalizing marijuana because it's still a sheriff's issue. And why is it a sheriff's issue? I don't know why it's a sheriff's issue, but it is. It's a sheriff's issue. So what I'm saying is we need something better for Florida because Ron DeSantis is not it. And, you know, look at the numbers. I looked at the polls, the polls the other day, Ron's approval rating. He's only at 54%. Now, you know, the black voters of Florida, something like 66% of them don't approve Ron DeSantis. They don't like him. And understandably, because there's not much to like, because what it is he's in it for himself. He's in it for money, lobby money, that's it. He doesn't want to run the state of Florida. And here's the thing. Let me tell you what's amazing. I called the Trump organization 300 times while he was president, and I said, please tell, I called Matt Gaetz, I called Jim Jordan, I called Marjorie Taylor Greene, I called Ted Cruz, I called all the big major people who are pro-Trump, or supposedly pro-Trump, and I said, can you give him a message that if he doesn't legalize recreational marijuana for Florida, he's not going to get a second term. And God told me that. God told me that. Isn't that amazing? And he didn't get a second term. He did not get a second term. Why? Because he did not legalize recreational marijuana for the United States. And there's a lot of people who are praying to God, God, please, please help me out of this. Please send somebody who will pardon me. Send a president, let a president pardon me so I can go home. It was only marijuana that you said I could have. And God's word, Genesis 9:3 of the King James Version, which is also the Lincoln Bible, okay, which is an Oxford print King James Version from 1859, I think. And, you know, a lot of presidents used it to be sworn in on. Trump did. Lincoln did. But here's the thing. In that Bible, Genesis 9:3 King James Version, which is the Lincoln Bible, it says, God gave us all things, including the green herb, to use as meat. Now, if marijuana is something that we should be eating, why can't we eat it? That's a right of God. And Ron says no. See, I'm running because of the cannabis issue. And the cannabis issue is a very important issue for Florida because not only is there 707,000 marijuana cardholders who want marijuana, they want it. But Ron says no. Ron says it's a police issue. Why would he do that? Why would he make that a police issue? Now, see, that's the thing. There's 67 counties in Florida, and every county sheriff in all 67 counties I called, representing Right to Try, they said, no, you can't grow any marijuana. You can't deliver any marijuana. You can't do anything to help these veterans grow marijuana because what's the address? We'll be right over. We're going to raid their homes. And I said, that's domestic terrorism. We don't care. We're not going to help anybody. We're not going to let them grow. It's against the law because our legislatures our lawmakers and legislators have not legalized it. And they refuse to legalize it. Why? Because of lobby money. They all get lobby money. That's why they're in there. And Wilton Simpson, okay, he's the Senate president, and he's running for the Department of Agriculture. He's running for Nikki Fried's job. And I call Wilton Simpson Dracula. He looks like a ghoul. And I've been calling for years to get marijuana legalized for Florida. Calling for years. And Wilton Simpson's office couldn't care one bit. They don't want it legal. They want to collect money from the police and sheriffs and PBA lobby, all that. And I'm sure the pharmaceutical companies are paying them lobby money too. But here's the thing. You know who suffers? The disabled people of Florida. Okay? Look at it this way. There's laws being broken by Governor Ron DeSantis. Blatant laws. Number one is the Florida antitrust laws. Okay, and I called Ashley Moody's office over this many times, and she refuses to ever do anything to help the people of Florida. And one time I called as Grady Judd, and I did his impression, and I'm going to post this. I'm going to post the phone call probably in the next episode. And that one phone call got me 2 felonies. And I had to bond out. The bond was $6,000, so it was $600 bond. To bond out impersonating a Leo out of Polk County, but I never was in Polk County to impersonate a Leo. Grady Judd did that. So you can't discuss cannabis with these sheriffs because they would rather raid a veteran's home than let him have it. It makes no sense. Torturing veterans with cancer. Isn't that a really righteous thing to do? That's horrible. To torture veterans with cancer. And that's what Ron's doing. Ron does not care about the veterans with cancer. Neither does Nikki Fried. Neither does Charlie Crist, for that matter. I'm the only hope to legalize for Florida. And here I am. Hello. Donald J. Peterson wants to legalize recreational marijuana for Florida immediately. Okay? Day one, when I'm elected, Lord willing, day one, I'm going to executive privilege sign in. If you have a marijuana card, 707,000 Floridians do. Now that's your grow license for 250 plants and $250,000 worth of cottage food that you can sell. You can sell this from your home, made from your home and your kitchen. Cottage food. Look it up. Study it now. Fresh from Florida, the Department of Agriculture cottage food. Study the cottage food laws. And isn't it amazing? Do you know I have 17 years worth of law study? Home study. I couldn't go to Harvard Law School like Ron DeSantis. But I studied the law 17 years at home. They told me, study at home. It's the best way. And now everybody's doing that anyway. You know, nobody wants to go to class, you know, with this COVID lockdown and everything. Nobody wants to get up and go around a whole social structure here and go to college. No, everybody does it from home now. You know, work from home, study from home, college from home, everything. So what I did was I studied the law for 17 years at home. And I learned a lot. And now I know that all these people who are running our Florida government are pretty much crooks and criminals. They're felons. I can go down the list. Ron DeSantis of his now Florida antitrust laws. Okay, restraint of trade. Number 2 is restraint of competition of trade. See, they limited the amount of manufacturing permits that they issued, and it was just a few outside corporations, not Florida corporations. These were outside entities, out of state, that came into Florida and paid their $150 million or $200 million, whatever it is, for their manufacturing permits, which is complete racketeering. I mean, you can't buy an 8-plant grow license with a marijuana card. In Missouri, you can. In many states, you can. Many states, it's just recreationally legal, and you just grow a few plants for yourself, and it's legal. But not in Florida. Florida will allow no plants. You can't grow anything. Isn't that amazing? What torture. So anyway, you have restraint of trade and restraint of competition of trade. That's Florida antitrust laws being violated every minute of every day by Ron DeSantis and the whole handful of crooks and criminals who are running this state. And they are not running the state good because look, the shelves are going bare of baby formula. Okay? That means they're not doing their job, and that means they don't care about you. If you're a governor and your state is going through where there's no baby formula for the babies in your state, you're a failure as a governor. Ron DeSantis is a failure as a governor if he has no plan. He has no plan to help and to solve this problem, which is no baby formula. So the economy, that's the other thing too. Gas, almost $5 a gallon for gasoline. Diesel's almost $6. Why would Ron allow that but not provide any other way out to financially help alleviate the financial suffering of the people of Florida? And cannabis is a great green stimulus to help the people of Florida. Cannabis is wonderful. That would solve this problem because, see, even if you had no money, even if you had no gas, even if you had no food, but you had a whole crop of cannabis, you could barter that cannabis. You could trade it for whatever you wanted. You could trade it for food. You could eat the cannabis. You could trade it for gasoline. You could trade it for whatever you want. What I want to do is make sure that it's not a police issue anymore. It's a freedom issue. Green freedom for Florida. That's what it is. Green freedom. And that's what I want to promote, is green freedom for Florida. Please vote for me. Please. Donald J. Peterson. Now, I need to qualify. Okay? I need to qualify. That means I need $8,000. And I need it by the second week of June. That's it, $8,000. And then you know what that means? That I can go to the primaries, and there should be a primaries. I mean, I heard that Ron DeSantis isn't going to speak, but I want to debate him. And I want to ask him this one simple question in front of the whole world. Ron? Oh, yeah. When they get to the point where they say, okay, you can ask the other candidates a question, I'll raise my hand and say, I want to go first. I want to ask Ron DeSantis, the incumbent. I want to ask him a question. Okay, be nice, be respectful. Okay. Ron, do you love and respect our veterans as much as I do? And of course he's going to say, yes. And I'm going to say, Ron, if you love our veterans, how many plants can a veteran with cancer grow? And this is a veteran who has a marijuana card. How many plants can he grow? Can they grow? How many plants? And you know what he's going to say? None. You can't grow any marijuana plants in Florida. I don't like the pungent smell. That's his excuse to make a multi-billion-dollar industry. In fact, Ron has ignored almost $20 billion worth of marijuana commerce for Florida. Ron has ignored $20 billion. And that's a conservative estimate. But look at it this way. Okay? All these northerners coming down from New York. And they're buying properties in Florida. And I can't believe they come down here and they probably were so frustrated. They were like, what? I can buy alcohol. I can buy tobacco. I can buy vapes. I can even have a gay marriage and buy abortion and all that stuff. But you can't buy any legal marijuana in Florida. Isn't that absolutely disgusting? I think so. Ron has ignored $20 billion in marijuana commerce. And you know how he's getting that back? Let me tell you how he's getting that back. He's taken it out of the wallets and the purses of disabled veterans with cancer. That's what he's doing because he does not care. He gives corporate interest big tax breaks. Look at the $624 million tax break on one company in Disney. He's not taking away Disney's tax-free status. Absolutely not. He's not doing that at all. He's just trying to look good because he wants to run for president. Now, let me tell you something about that, too. There's a pattern with Ron, okay? First of all, he runs for Congress. He gets elected, and he serves a term. Now, he gets reelected for the next term, and instead of finishing his term, probably 4 years, 4 years? Finishing his term, he quit halfway through to run and be governor of Florida. So they elected a dud who didn't do anything for his congressional seat. He didn't do anything. He just occupied a seat in Congress until he could run for governor of Florida. Now, this is what he wants to do again. Mark my words, he's running for president. Either he's going to run for vice president or he's going to run for president. Either he's going to be under Trump or Ron DeSantis, and I heard Tucker Carlson would be amazing. I mean, I'd vote for Tucker. I wouldn't waste any vote on Ron, but I would definitely vote for Tucker. So even if Tucker was running with racketeering Ron, I would vote for Tucker. But anyway, I just want to say that this is the first little, clip of the show here. And, please, look into everything I'm talking about with cottage food. And mark my words, Ron's not going to legalize marijuana for Florida. So that means it's still going to be a police issue. That means rich Northerners are coming down here to visit Florida, and there's no cannabis for tourists. That means all this money, this green, good, righteous money that we could have all had, which would have helped Florida greatly. Instead, it's a police issue. Thanks, Ron. Thank you so much for making a right of God a police issue. And that's the most terrible thing. Because, look at it this way. A police issue. A right of God is a police issue. Now, federally speaking, Ron violates U.S. Code 1951, which is U.S. codes, constitutional codes, interference with commerce through threats of violence. And number 2 of that is robbery through threats of violence, which is what the sheriffs do, and then is extortion. That's U.S. Code 1951. Now, Ron also violates U.S. Code 241 and U.S. Code 242. U.S. Code 241 is conspiracy against rights. How could he conspire against the rights of disabled people in Florida, and especially veterans with cancer? Veterans with cancer, Ron is denying your right to cannabis. I think 1 million people need to file charges against Ron DeSantis and sue him. If 100 people would sue him for $1 million, there's his $105 million lobby money. And now Ron's bogged down in court for 3 or 4 years. That's what I recommend for the veterans, especially the veterans, the high-up veterans, the ones who really, really, really want to make a difference because they're so sore displeased with the way Florida is handling the cannabis issue. Please vote for me. Donald J. Peterson, please vote for me. I'm going to make Florida wonderful. I'm going to make it a paradise. But I can't make it a paradise if you vote for Ron DeSantis. But here it is. Vote for me. I have a lot of things that need to be done in Florida. Look at it this way. I'm going to go down the list. Number 1 is legalization of recreational marijuana. Number 2, pardoning everybody in prisons throughout Florida for any cannabis charges whatsoever. Now, without violence, okay? We just want to make sure if you're cannabis, you're pardoned immediately. Fast pardon. I'm going to fast pardon everybody. I'm going to spend my first 100 days going through all the prisons in Florida, and I'm going to fast pardon everybody. Now, not only cannabis only, but drug possession or some kind of drug charges where there was no violence and everything, and you were just, let's say there's a drug addict out there that had a possession charge, and you're in prison with no violence whatsoever. I'm going to pardon you right away, and I'm going to reunite you with your family. Why are you in jail for a health issue? See, Ron doesn't care. Ron doesn't care about you. Ron doesn't care about your health issue. Ron cares about being president. That's all he cares about, is being president. So please vote for me, Donald J. Peterson. Besides U.S. Code 241, U.S. Code 242, which is deprivation of rights under the color of law. Now, when a police officer under the color of law actually raids a veteran's home for cannabis growing, they violate federal U.S. Code 241 and 242. Conspiracy against rights, U.S. Code 241. That means two or more. Two or more officers, two or more agencies. See, that's conspiracy when the sheriff's office works with the prosecutor's office. When the sheriff's office works with the prosecutor's office, that's conspiracy. To get a conviction against a veteran with cancer for growing cannabis in his home? No. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen under my watch. Now, you got prison reform, marijuana legalization, prison reform, and if you have a concealed carry permit, that automatically makes it a open carry for your handgun. Now, besides prison reform, we need to open up outreach centers in every county. I'm going to require every county and every city of, which means every city of and every county is going to have to open an outreach center on public land and support it. And they have to open a tiny home community. Every county and every city of needs a tiny home community. Out of the way, on unused public land, and, it's got to be real pretty. It's got to look nice and everything, but we need a tiny home community. I don't want to see any homeless suffering. So please vote for me. There's so many issues in Florida. The other thing is port security. We have, 15 ports? 15 ports. And I want to make sure they are so safe. You don't even know the ships that were off the California coast, all those ships and all those shipping containers, 500,000 shipping containers. There was a reason why they weren't processed and unloaded, because possibly there was missile launchers in there from China with missiles on them. So I don't know what's happening now, but what I'm saying is port security is so important. I want to have, I'm going to step up port security. I'm going to throw so much money at port security to make sure that there is, no nuclear devices or any radiological devices or anything, biological devices, anything in shipping containers that could be brought in to harm the United States. There's so much. Schools, too. You know what I want for schools? Instead of all this cannabis prohibition, instead all those sheriffs could be guarding the schools. And I mean, every entrance to a school has security guards, sheriffs officers. So many things that need to be changed for Florida. But anyway, the main thing is the green stimulus. That's cannabis. Now, I'm going to talk about a lot of the world issues and everything. I'm going to go through that, but we're going to go through a quick break, and we'll be right back with more at the Donald J. Peterson Show. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Donald J. Peterson Show. Donald will be right back.